going on, guys? I wanted to talk about the imaginary unit starting today, right? We're going to start with the number I, all right? Just very basic for today. First thing you need to know is what is exactly the number I? Well, in math, the number I would just be the square root of -1, okay? Now, I wanted to start with the powers of I today, saying, how can we evaluate the powers of I? Well, you need to understand something. So let's go to the sideline. Let's get a chart of i's going here. I raised to the 0. Anything raised to the 0 power, well, that'll just give you an answer of 1. All right? Now, if we keep going, I to the first. Again, anything raised to the first power, it's just itself, I. Okay? Now, here's where we get a little creative. I have I squared. All right, well, if I squared says I need to write I 2 times, I'm just going to write it in this form. Square root of -1, square root of -1. I have now written I 2 times. All right, now, when we're multiplying radicals here, if you have the same radicand, right, you're just going to end up with just the radicand, all right? Just the number here without the square root, that'll be I squared. Now, if we talk about I to the 3rd power, well, here's 2 of the i's. I'll add another I, right? And like we just said, any radical multiplied by itself, that'll just be the radicand, and this will be left alone here. If I change this back to the I, I'll have -1I, or you can just say -I, okay? I could keep going. If I go to I to the 4th, you're going to see that it's going to be equivalent to 1. If I go I to the 5th, it'll be I, and it's going to repeat the same pattern. So every 4, you're going to start repeating the pattern. So, if you see a problem like I, let's say, raised to the 81, okay, very big exponent, we can simplify this, and this will be your step 1. So if you have a notebook or a piece of paper, please write that down. You're going to divide the exponent by 4, because if this pattern repeats every 4, okay, we can divide by 4 and then compare it to this chart here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, I don't have a calculator, so I'm going to go old school. If you have a calculator, please feel free. All right, that's 81, and we'll divide this by 4. All right, 4 can go into 8 twice. That'll be 8. Ooh, nostalgia. Can't do that, right? So normally you'd say you have a remainder of 1. So here's where step 2 comes into play, okay? Step 2, I'm going to rewrite the I. Now, what goes as the exponent? You're going to use the remainder. All right, guys? You're going to use the remainder as your new exponent. You're going to use the remainder as your new exponent. So, if I have a remainder of 1, I'm going to put a 1 here. All right? Now, if I try to evaluate this, I go to my handy chart here, it says I to the 1st, that'll just be your number I. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's say we have I raised to the 28. All right, I raised to the 28, and we're going to try to evaluate this. So the first step, we're going to take that exponent, we're going to divide 4. Now, what's very good about this is that 4 can actually go into this very perfectly, right? 7 times. Now, our remainder here is 0. Now, remember with step 2, you're going to rewrite that I, and that remainder is going to be your new exponent. Okay? Now, we take this, we compare it to our chart. I to the 0, that'll be 1. All right, let's try one more. I don't know. Let's go with a low number, I guess. Let's go with I to the 10th power. I to the 10th, right? We'll take 10 here. We're going to divide 4. 4 can go into 10 twice, leaving you a remainder with 2. So our remainder will actually be our new exponent, okay? We go over here, we check I squared, and that will be, okay? Now, one more thing I'd like to discuss before I leave you be is what if you get a question like this, right? What if you get a question like this? I to the 36 times I to the 20th times I to the 40th. Well, because this is multiplication and I have the same base for all three, right? I'm allowed, I'm going to rewrite the base. Laws of exponents says I'm allowed, if I have the same base, I'll put that there. I can add all of these exponents together. Right, what does that give you? 96, I think, right? Right, so now I have, now this just looks like the other side of the board, right? I can follow those 2 steps that I gave you. I'll take this, divide it by 4. Again, you can use your calculator here. Don't be afraid to use that, okay? What's beautiful here, guys, right? I'm getting a remainder of 0. So I'll put that I down, use the remainder, go to your chart, check your chart, but anything raised to the 0 power. Okay, guys? There you have it. Powers of I. Just basics anyway, just to get you started. Have a good day.